Hey, we'll try to make this one really easy. Um, while I know that I want to connect this in a very long way to my last video about energy, and I don't know that I'll get there, but here's what I will do. I'll give you a like a at-home study, and it's because I'm sitting here and I'm staring at this air conditioner that's sitting across from me, and so there's a few lights on it, and I have this giant magnet in my hand, which was literally it was sitting above my head, above the chair that I sit in. So I sit in this giant purple chair. It's so comfortable, and I was sitting in a way that the magnet is behind me on top of a I don't know. It used to be a fireplace, but the fireplace is gone, so they put some 2x4s and some drywall up, and I put it above that, which is sitting directly beneath this really awesome purple. It has it's shiny. It's a rug. It's an Egyptian. Well, I don't know if it's Egyptian, but it's a cool thing. It's like one of those magical rugs that you can sit on and just fly to anywhere you want. But between my skull and that rug is this. It's a let's see. It's a I don't know. What do you call that? Like an inch and change, inch and a half maybe. I don't know how many millimeters that would be. And there's a density and a energy to it because it's a magnet. And I put it against my pineal gland, my forehead, and it changes the way that I can literally see. It adjusts my vision and my sight, like literally how I can like what I'm looking at as I'm talking to you. If I put this on my right side, it pulls all of my energy to the right side of my head. I'm watching this happen. Now, before this, like I was not doing a bunch of drugs. I was just sitting here having some tequila. Like that's about it. That's about the size of it. Okay. Now I take this. This is always altering of consciousness. They say, if you breathe out of your nose all day, you'll have one type of consciousness. If they call you, look at that mouth breather. If you keep breathing out of your mouth, you'll have a different experience than somebody that breathes out their nose. And now, if you breathe out your nose and your mouth, that'd be another thing. If you stuck a penny on the bottom of your foot, if you walk through a forest and you put a prickly thing underneath the sole of your foot, like you'd have different experiences. So everything that you do is sort of a experience alteration unit. But something that's very profound is a magnet. So I'm sticking this magnet next to the left side of my head right at this particular moment. I'll flip it around because one direction is more pushy and one's more pulley, right? And I can see the numbers on the. Okay, so there's a temperature on the air conditioner that normally I can't see from this distance because my eyesight isn't perfect. It's good. It's funny, I've told people a story about scratching my cornea about almost 20 years ago now. I scratched my cornea with a piece of. I was grinding off a. What was I doing? I don't remember how I got to the point, but I remember I was grinding something. It was heavy metal, and it got jammed in my eye. And all day I was kind of rubbing my eyes like, oh, my eye itch. And I went to bed and I had REM sleep, rapid eye movement, and it scratched the fuck out of my cornea where I had to go to the hospital. And I couldn't see. I was blind. I was literally blind. I'm blind to the point. Maybe what? Almost. I think I was like 18 years ago, 19 years ago, where I couldn't see out of my left eye at all because there was a white film over it. So I couldn't see out of it. And they pulled this heavy metal out, and it, after a little while, and the reason I couldn't see out of it, just by the way, a little side note, is because I was taking, I don't remember what drugs they were, but it was a doctor friend of mine, because I wanted the pain to go away, but I wanted, like it was tough, right? But he gave me drugs so that the pain went away. I mean, in truth, those drugs came from the forest, and it was free, and it had all of the other. Um, you could have just ate the leaf and had the same effects plus better, because it would have healed you well. But that's not good enough. So I put this drug in my system, and the drug is what caused my eye to become blind. Do you see? My eye became clouded over with the white pill that I was taking to take away the pain, so I couldn't see. I'm sitting here playing around with a magnet, and I realized if I put it near my skull, it literally changes my vision. So magnetics. And this is maybe just a little clue in for people to, and this has to do with a lot of other things of what is it called? Okay, so if you make a pyramid or a triangle, it doesn't matter the shape, I guess, and you put an organic and an inorganic element back and forth, what you get is organite. You organize information. And so I always say, I go through these long talks so that anybody that's willing to listen to everything that I have to say will get to the point of this, and I'll just give you the greatest, what do they call these in the movies? If you're watching a movie, it's called like an Easter egg. I'm going to give you an Easter egg right now. Okay, a metallic substance and something that is magnetic and just magnets and metal, and what it does, and then if you put it next to your head, it's very funny. It just proves the little simple thing, like, okay, you believe in science, but you don't really believe science, because, well, obviously it lied to you about everything, but you can prove to yourself that a magnet does something. And nobody can. You can watch it. You can observe it. You can't explain it. Next to gravity is it's that word that someone. Okay, you were talking about magnetics, but they said gravity. Remember that. But listen. See, and this is this really dense, strong. I don't know. Is the metal strong, or is the magnetic strong? You don't know. But that clipped right on there. Because I'm playing with this. I was telling you earlier. It was about, I don't know, 6-sided metallic structure, is different on every side. One is pushing, one's pulling. It depends. But it's really strong. It's like a neodymium. Is that the right one? I don't know. It doesn't really matter, but it's very funny. Like how magnets are associated with what people call gravity. Is it just the clue-in word to understand? Because if I take the sense of gravity, everything they tell you about gravity is actually what a magnet is. Just remember that. Try that out. When you say gravity, you mean magnetism. Talk soon, yo. Have a beautiful evening or day.